Good morning. Sitting here with my coffee, sitting here with my dog. He's under the blanket, you can't see. And this seems to be the place where I can make videos sometimes when it's a busy, these summer days where I have to get up super early and take him for a walk and then do dishes and get groceries and whatever, because I have two teenagers and nothing's ever, there's always something to do. And so speaking of teenagers, I am just absolutely, like everyone else, haunted is the only word I can think of besides heartbroken over that. The teenager, as he was only 19, who was scared. Apparently he said he was terrified of going on this Titan submersible with his dad. But his father wanted him to go. It'd be this great experience before he went off to college. And so he complied. And then it happened on Father's Day of all days. And there seems to be something with that, with Stockton Rush, who owned Ocean Gate, who died on the submersible with the 4 other men, 1 young man included. And there's something about that, because that wasn't the only father-son duo who had been approached to go on the Titan. So I think there was something about Father's Day in particular that he wanted to make a statement. Kind of like the Titanic again, same thing, ignored safety warnings. The weather, like I said in my first video, I picked up about the weather, bad time of year, choppy, because of, let's say you had the cold air coming in from the north and then the hot air coming in from the south, and then it creates, we're in hurricane season now, right? We're starting to be, and the water being choppy. And that's just what I picked up on, was that it was a bad time to send Titan into the water because it was too choppy, and there was something about that, and they ignored it. I feel like that was the beginning of the issues. And then those, when you have a flaw and you put it under pressure, if there's like let's say you have a glass and there's a little tiny little crack in the glass that you don't see, and then you put some hot water in the glass, and then it cracks, the whole thing breaks. Well, you didn't know, right? Or maybe you did know, maybe you should have known, maybe you did know that it was damaged, but you just believed that this could never happen. And isn't that what they thought with the Titanic? Unsinkable. So something about flaw in the Titan, bad weather exonerated it, made it worse. Then as it got deeper and the pressure of the water was heavier, it made that flaw apparent. And that's, they imploded. I don't think they hit anything. I always felt it was the choppy water. It was something like that. And the Father's Day thing. So Stockton Rush was making a point of having a father-son duo. It was going to make the news after they re-emerged after their successful trip down to the Titanic. They would come out and say, "What a great Father's Day, isn't it? That's a miracle. It's amazing. Look what we did." And they would make the news, and he would get coverage and be on all the news out, because otherwise none of us would have cared about this trip. There's been other dives down to the Titanic that were just unnoticed. It's just not a common day thing, but it's, nothing that, not a big news story, especially these days with all the news we have constantly. This would have made a news story. Father's Day, father-son duo. What a great trip. We saw the Titanic, and then he would have had more people lined up to go ride on the Titan. And then he would have made more. He would have had, 2 or 3 more made. So we'd have a business. This was the whole thing. Very much like the Titanic. Make the news. Ignore everything, because this was the day he picked. This was the day. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it was supposed to be a day before. I don't know. But I think there's something about Father's Day and the father-son being on there. Now, the son being 19 signed a waiver because obviously there's a risk with this, a high risk I think they should ignore that, and the company should be sued. The son was not really willing. I don't think 19-year-old is old enough to be able to sign your life away in the manner like that. I think that there's legalities with making him go down on the Titan. And his signature should be, I mean, I don't think he really consented, to be honest. So someone asked me about are the spirits of the Titan going to stay down at the ocean, or would they pass on to the other side? Well, when I asked that to Spirit, the first thing I saw was bubbles rising to the surface. You know how when you breathe underwater, or let's say like with the implosion, bubbles would go up to the surface eventually. And I feel like that was their spirits rising to the surface. The ocean is not a human place. It's a place for, sea life, plants, etc. It's not the human experience to live in the ocean. And the Titan, the submersible, was not a home. It was a temporary vehicle, and not one that they even knew. I feel like your soul goes to what it's used to. And besides maybe Stockton Rush, his spirit may stay down there. But the others, I feel like they all rose to the surface, rose to what they knew, what their normal life would be, and passed on to the other side. And to be honest, our guides and angels lead us. There's a place, it's a place where heaven, and I do believe in heaven, and it's in our consciousness. Heaven is like a couple inches above our head, but also it's in our heart. It's just the universe is inside of us. We go to what we know. We go to that beautiful place. Stockton Rush, I do feel he had a past life connection to the Titanic, and he almost was, this was his, I think he knew he was going to die at some point and join the Titanic. I feel like maybe he was Ismay. You remember how Ismay rushed to the whole Titanic experience and then told the captain, hurry up, make the papers in New York. It'll be in all the news, and then yada, yada, yada. But then like a coward, he got on a boat, dressed like a woman, right? And got on one of the lifeboats and escaped. And then was sort of a scoundrel, scapegoated the rest of his life for his cowardly act. Well, the truth is, it's in our human nature to survive. And also, they didn't load the lifeboats properly. And he and many men and young men, because remember, it was women and children first class. But he and many men and young men could have gotten on lifeboats if they had filled them properly. But maybe he was Ismay. Maybe Stockton Rush was Ismay. And this was his sort of passion to go down and take the karma of what happened on the Titanic. And now he's joined them and he's with them forever. So I feel like if anyone will haunt that area, it'll be Stockton Rush. Is that his name? The owner of Ocean Gate. The others, they already have risen to the surface. They're assessing. When something like this happens, especially so instantaneous, a lot of souls are like, whoa, what happened? What happened? And they have to, it takes a while sometimes. Sometimes they need a little help recognizing that they're dead. Now, because it's the ocean, they knew their souls were like, we're in the wrong place, we're on the wrong place, and then they go up. And I think they knew that they had died. I think they did have a minute or two warning that something was going on, if not more. The sounds, lights flashing. I do feel there was a fire. The fire, and then the water rushing in. It was probably terrifying. But when they died, it was instantaneous, painless, bam, they're gone, which is horrible. I know that's horrible. It's kind of like in the movie Titanic when the guy says, explains what happened, and then the lady looks at him and said, thank you for that fine scientific explanation, but I remember it differently than, how she says that. So they're not haunting Stockton. This almost was his, I hate to say it, I don't know any other words, but death wish to go back to the Titanic and join them. The others, their souls are healing. The son especially. Now, what is the message? I don't like to channel people right after they pass. It's not fair, especially a situation like this where they weren't celebrities. They weren't used to being watched and pried into. So with great respect for privacy, the son, the 19-year-old who died on the Titan, he says, at least I went with my dad. I could have died on a plane crash on the way to college because he was going to go to Scotland, I think, for college, or Ireland, Scotland, Ireland. I could have died on the plane crash by myself alone, but I died with my dad. And though I regret my life ending so soon, I am happy that I was with my father. And I served a purpose in showing people, once again, the value of life, that all life is valuable, all life has meaning, short or long, and that money has no meaning. We need to stop putting value on money and on each person who's alive on this planet. Life has more meaning than money. That money could have gone, my father's money could have gone to helping the environment, to helping the homeless, to, many causes on the earth, to helping the ocean. And though I'm not mad at my father or the men or Stockton Rush, I see my life as a lesson to others to enjoy every day and to put value in human life and the life of all people, of the planet, of the environment, of all conditions of life. And not money. I do feel that there's a part of him that is upset at what happened. But like he said, he could have died on the plane on the way to college, or in a car in a year's time. So at least he passed away with his father. And that's what I get. So he's not haunting. They're not, it's kind of a horrible topic, isn't it? I don't even like to broach that, but I do feel like Stockton Rush, this was his, I don't like his opus, if you will. And he knew it was all or nothing. I'm going to die on this and be part of the Titanic forever, or I'm going to make the news and this brilliant thing, this great trip that's going to be in all the news, and I'm going to get more of these submersibles. I'm going to make a big business of it, and yada, yada, yada. So that's what I get. So once again, sorry for my scratchy throat. Morning. And the dark video, which somehow seems fitting for the topic, the deep ocean waters, how dark it would be down there. Our mind can't even comprehend the weight of the water. They showed a video of from Ocean Gate where they had gone before and taken video, really clear video of items on the ocean floor next to the Titanic, and it was these porcelain cups from the White Star Line. And it's like, well, how do those survive? Or how does a ceramic doll's head survive and not get crushed? I don't know how, but I guess ceramic, glazed ceramic is like rock. And because of there's no air inside, there's no water inside, you know what I mean? It doesn't have anything to implode. So I guess it will last forever. But us humans, we're extremely delicate, aren't we? And anyway, thanks for listening. You guys have a great day.